What's going on, guys? My name is Carl Fox, and I am a GasCanCo street team member. And they've been so kind to let me share my 2005 Acura RSX Type S A-Spec on their YouTube channel. So what I'll do is I'll give you a little rundown of Miss Mia, tell you a little bit about her, show you the things that I've done to her, and then I'll let you know about my plans for her. Chad, or Hector, up here at Z-Tech was so gracious to let me use his garage today, be it that outside it is 40 degrees and absolutely raining its balls off. So we've got her dried off. She's still a little dirty, but she's not a showpiece anyway. She's still my semi-daily driver when it's sunny and 70, which hasn't been for like half a year now because it's winter and because I miss car season and I'm starting to cry. So let's get on with it. A few years ago, me and my wife bought that car right there, and it was supposed to be her daily driver. Unfortunately, I took it over, and it's been my build ever since. However, oddly enough, the car is still in her name. The car started out as a Nighthawk Black Pearl Acura RSX. And contrary to how a lot of people feel about it, one of my biggest aspects of this build was doing a full Australian spec Type S conversion. Trickier than what I would have thought. So today I'm going to show you around the car, hopefully answer a couple of questions that some of the people had out there, go over a few of the parts that I have found for the car and collected, why I chose to go this route with an RSX. First off, I just want to shout out to the guys over at Z-Tech. Hector let me use the garage today. Currently outside, it is raining, and I think they're calling for ice shortly. So I'm all the way up here in Huntington, and I've got to get old girl back to Ashland before long. I do really love Hector's lighting here in the shop, though. It does this vinyl amazing justice. Almost 2 years ago, I wrapped it in Orcal's 970 RA cast, and they call it Crystal Metallic White. And the reason I chose this color was because in a few years I'll eventually have the car painted Honda Championship Pearlescent White. But until I'm completely ready for a bare chassis paint, this is what got me. The vinyl will do the trick until I'm ready for a full teardown chassis, paint, bodywork, and all that. I am not a master vinyl technician, applicator, or any other wording or phrase that you would use. But after a month of tears and sweat, maybe a little bit of blood, the car looks alright. It fooled a couple people, so I guess I did okay. Back to the hood. This is a Seibin mold from the Mugen carbon hood for the DC5 Type R. I went with Seibin because Mugen hoods are over $2,500, and I'm not paying that. When really, though it's a completely 100% functional hood, I was just after the look. I'm an old school racer, old school carbon hoods are in. Here we can see a mostly stock front end. It does have the Mugen lip running along the bottom as well. I wanted most of this build to be, as they refer to it, OEM plus, which means its mainstay is around OEM with a few added goodies. You can see my little matching Takata toe strap to match the harnesses in there. But there is one huge surprise for Mia right behind me here at Hector's shop. And yes, her name is Mia, and yes, it is in a reference to the Fast and the Furious. Fun fact, Mia drove a 4-door DC4 Integra for a mere 15 seconds in the very first film. Another question I get often asked is, can I see through my headlights? And the answer is no. It is terrible. It is awful. The vinyl I ordered was semi-opaque. They accidentally shipped me this blackout, which I will show for you here in just a moment. So when I'm in and around Ashland, I can see just fine just because of all the street lights, but I can turn on my high beams and I never get flashed. That's how bad it is. I'm not real big on quick releases. However, this little guy, as filthy as it is because of the rain outside, those are awesome. You just pop it in, bumper pops off. Why is that there? Again, because of the big surprise hiding in the back of Chad's shop here. And the last part of the front of the car that I wanted to show you were these little arrow catch pins. I actually bought these at Mad Scientist Auto. Greatest thing ever for a carbon hood. Working our way around the car, I guess it's safe that we can touch base on the wheels. Those are filthy, but those are MST-01s. They are knockoff as a $5 bill, and I am okay with that. They're cheap, and honestly, they're more aggressive than the, what is it, TE37, I believe. I'm not a wheel guy, so comment me if I just foobarred that all to hell. And next, you can see the most riciest thing on this car, which is this little tiny, not carbon fiber, Type R stick-on vent. I did that as a laugh one day when I saw the vents on eBay, oddly enough. I bought them because they were next to nothing. I think it was like 20 bucks for the pair. And I was intrigued to see if they actually fit the vehicle, the body lines. Oddly enough, I really like it. So maybe in the future, I might actually purchase some junkyard FK8 vents off of Type R and bodywork the actual vents into a set of RSX fenders. I think I have 2 pair at the house. I know I have at least 1 pair for sure. And then you can see again the Mugen side skirt to match the front lip. GoPro, because race car. Another big controversy about this car is the Integra Type S badge I have on the side. Those actually never did exist. That was purely a cosmetic doing on my part. The Integra Type R were the only ones to get badges on the quarter panels like that. I just bespoke the emblem and mashed them together and made the decal for the side. I did make it factory size and factory color, but again, that emblem actually never did not exist from Honda. Well, I really didn't want to interrupt the tour of Mia, but I wanted to let you all know that GasCanCo was so gracious to sponsor this video and put me and her in stardom on their YouTube channel. And with that, they sent us some free products. The first product is their toe strap. It comes with hardware. There's another bag of hardware around here somewhere. And it'll probably be replacing my toe strap right there. They gave me a case of their energy drinks, properly named Unleaded. Directly for the auto enthusiasts out there. I believe there's going to be a diesel flavor or maybe something along E85 for sugar-free variant soon. so stay on the lookout for those, like myself that watches their carbs. Not to mention the shirt that I'm wearing, because I'm a fanboy for them. Or the banner. But they also sent me a key tag featuring the H&K clasp. Some of you firearm fellers out there know all about that. And my key to match. So go support them, go support local business, and let's get back to the tour. Finishing out the outside of the car, we have the Mugen diffuser on the bottom, tying in the side skirts and the front lip. Coming up, we have the matching emblems and the Type R spoiler. The deck bill is actually factory from the Acura A-Spec body kit. I wanted to remove it, but it would leave, I think there was 6 holes in the spoiler, not including 4 bolts. So we just trimmed it to fit the spoiler. The spoiler is aftermarket. It's carbon fiber, not ABS plastic like the factory Type R spoilers. And then we brought off the vinyl to match it, while still keeping the carbon exposed. We have our MagnaFlow muffler, not a fart can. Welcome to the inside of the back hatch. You can see the GasCanCo B-pillar bar coming up the side of the door, wrapping around for the harnesses, GoPro mount, and the only exposed part of my underglow kit, which I'm not real happy with, but it's fine for now. The back seat does lay flush, and this is merely because I took out the bottom section of it, just so the rest of the car looks nice and finished. I had no plans on ever using the back seat. But one cool little tidbit is that guy right there. Factory, unopened from Honda. My camera will focus. There we go. Seal's never been broke. I heard these contain everything needed to do a basic surgery on somebody, but I'll die before I open that. And that just sits in there. That was a neat process to a lot of this car, was collecting rare parts from Honda, such as that little guy. We're going to open up the passenger door because the lighting over here is much better. Also, you can see Adam right there. So first off, we got the door sills. Those are actually the door sills off an 0204 Integra IS. They are the base model door sills. And that's just because when you put that logo in that door sill, it don't fit very properly. The big Integra logo was much more flowing with the lines. And that little guy right there was unfortunately just Japanese spec. It's their emissions sticker. Apparently these are shitty at emissions. But I thought it was a neat decal and I had to have it. Looking up, you can again see the GasCanCo B-pillar bars. And those are a pain in the ass to install. This car does not have seat belts. It is only equipped with Takata's Drift Spec 3 4-point harnesses. And guys, if you ever go this route, do not half-ass on your safety equipment. Actually, I think, to be honest with you, according to the tag right there, I think these harnesses are expired, but I don't use them in motorsports, so it's okay. I have my nice little Mugen badge right there. I've had that on every single RSX I've owned. Mugen floor mats. And there we can see my ECU and the factory Japanese road flare. These are legally mandated, however, they are all LED now. This one is an actual road flare. Unused. And it'll probably never ever be used. Maybe I might have to have Dustin or somebody translate this, but maybe it's manufactured in 90 and then expired in 94? Either way, these things are hard to come by, so I took the first one I could find. The bracket is there. The bracket is factory DC5. That one is obviously not a factory DC5 road flare. Exact same as what it came in, though. And next up, we have our factory Australian buck. It comes with the original guys, the salesman, I guess, of Ringwood Honda. The original booklet. And an unopened Type S owner's manual. Along with the Integra emission control system. I believe this was their GPS. 6-disc in-CD changer. I'm not sure. I want to say this came out of an 04 Integra from Australia. Again, more codes for a radio. I think that's it. It does come with this little handy dandy Australian booklet, which is a pain to get out, but it's just a notebook and it's blank. So there's all of those goodies. I would say out of all the stuff that I have collected for this vehicle, this particular booklet is one of my most proudest ones. I bought this off an individual in Japan, unopened. And it's just little stuff like that that nobody would ever care about or even notice. But it's so hard to find, and when you do find it, it's gratification like you've never seen. Moving to the interior, everything is pretty much stock. The A-pillars have been painted black. From Honda, they are titanium, which is more of a tan, two-tone. The headliner also is painted to match, along with the sun visors. The steering wheel, it is a factory Acura steering wheel. However, the center badge, the whole airbag assembly is out of a Momo Type R. The infotainment system is actually just a Nexus tablet that I built a few years ago. Along with the EP3 Civic Si hazard button and a slim little magnet for the cell phone. The gauge cluster is the Japanese spec Integra Type S. I wanted the Australian spec, but I could not find any, and I really did get a killer deal on this little guy. And last but not least, the push start button. These do have heated mirrors, unlike the Japanese and Australian, which are folding mirrors. These are heated. The push start button is actually the exact same that is provided in the S2000s. However, you can see the little bezel around it. That is Australian spec. You could order these cars from Australia with a factory push start button. And then the moonroof switch. As far as pedals, you can barely see down there. I have a custom... Yeah, you're not going to be able to see those. I have a custom S2000 dead pedal and Mugen pedals for the set. Really, I think that's about it for the interior. Again, plenty of space in the back. As far as plans go, I do plan on replacing the perforated leather on the doors with the Type R red material. I don't plan on doing the Type R red carpets. However, the seats, let me turn around here. The seats I absolutely love. They are manufactured by Recaro. They are very nicely bolstered. But I would like a set of maybe the black DC5 Type R Recaros. My little GoPro mount. Now for everybody's favorite part. Let's jump out there to the engine. Let's see if we can open this hood one-handed. Alright. Give her a little tug. Wait for it. There she is, the beast. That sumbitch will walk anything in the tri-state. Anything. Popping off first, we do have the only true spoon product I actually own. Are the two cuffs. As far as the build, if you want to call it, that is the factory, there we go, factory Type S strut bar. I just painted it red because you can clearly see it through the little tiny vent on the hood. Battery has some random cross bracing. This engine, right now as it sets, is a stock K20A3. It does have the K20Z1 manifold. We do have the no-name intake. And we do have an Integra Type R valve cover. Both the oil cap and the dipstick are from the Japanese spec. The coil pack cover is one off from Mad Scientist. That is a really neat feature I love about the engine bay. Other than that, she's pretty stock. As far as the car goes, I do have a K24 block at the house, and I do have a K20Z1 head at the house. And Eric Jarvis over at MSA is going to build me a Frankenstein. My goals with the car are to achieve anywhere from 240 to 260 NA horsepower. The car currently runs on K-Tuner. And the exhaust work, completely built from scratch by Robert Lovely, is one of the greatest sounding exhausts I have ever heard on one of these cars. So huge props to him. The tires are 255 17s. I don't remember what brand. I think they're just a no-name brand because they didn't hold up for shit. And I think I was just worried about getting the fitment right. Other than that, like I said, swap the motor out. Trans is still factory. Get it retuned. There's a few more small pieces I would like to acquire for the car. And then Mr. Adam Cutlip has a very huge surprise that's going to be installed in this general area of the vehicle before long. And after all that's said and done, I believe the car is about where I'd like for it to be. Now, absolutely, without a shout of a doubt, everybody who knows me knows I'm an OG racer. I love the old stuff. I love the era correct stuff. So without a shout, one of my favorite parts of this whole build, not the engine, not the vinyl, not all the carbon fiber, one of my absolute favorite parts about this whole car is this little button right here. It's under the steering wheel. You press that, and you see it lights up blue, which is dumb. Everything should be red. But you light that up, you hit this little guy right here, and something magical happens. Something absolutely magical. What do you think about that? It's all about the glow, not the show. So public service announcement for everybody else running around in the tri-state with LEDs hanging down off their chassis. Hide them. Nobody wants to see that nasty stuff. Yeah, something magical happens. Something magical happens. So, what are my plans with the car? Well, here before long, me and Eric Jarvis over at Mad Scientist Auto, we're going to get together. Like I said, I've already got the block, the head. I've got everything ready to go for the new Frankenstein engine. It's going to need a few more internals, a few parts of his recommendation, maybe a 4-to-1 header, stuff like that. I want to keep it pretty OEM, but I think with him tuning it, with him building it, we should be comfortably in the 240 to 260 wheel horsepower range. Performance-wise, that's about it for this build. I don't want any more. I still want it to be a fun, semi-daily driver for the time being. Cosmetics, there's a few little things that I need to fix this upcoming season. Little things like center caps, I still need to snag a VIN tag off of a Type S for show purposes. Really not too much cosmetically, other than I do want to eventually get it painted sometime down the road. There is something neat that I would like to do with the taillights, be more of a retro look when I ever get around to that. But until then, the factory ones are fine. Not too much in the cosmetic department. I do have a big surprise that I'm not letting on to. That'll be hopefully done here in the next few months and ready for the warm weather. But other than that, it's a pretty solid car. I mean, maybe one year I'll go wide body on it, as long as it's nothing too, for lack of better terms, ricey. And that's really about it. I don't plan on getting rid of this car. I've always wanted a DC5, built from the ground up the way that I wanted it to. And this was a great chassis. When we bought it, it was pretty rough. It was a diamond in the rough. It was all there, but the surface of it was ugly. But me and Jasmine got it prettied up, and then she actually started working on her own Integra. It's a 2000 model, which left me with this one. But other than that, I don't think I'll really ever get rid of this car in the near future. So other than that, guys, if you have a project that you would like to document on here, document your build, show off your vehicle, just kind of give it that limelight that you always wanted it to have, send the guys over at GasCanCo your information and see if you can get something worked out. They're pretty open and accommodating to this kind of stuff. Obviously, there's nothing too special about my car. It's not big, fancy. It's not even fast. I mean, it made 180 horsepower on the dyno. It's nothing special. It's fun, but that's it. But hit them up. Go buy some of their merchandise, support the local businesses, and if you see me out and about, feel free to approach me. I'll show you the car. I might even take you for a ride in it. Have a good one, guys.